A New Zealand university is investigating the conduct of researchers who let the subject of a noise sensitization experiment drive a vehicle despite experiencing a severe response after visiting a wind farm in New South Wales. Massey University said it had already undertaken an educative review with 2 researchers, among the 4 in total, who teach at the institution. Retraction of the research is an option open to the university, Giselle Burns, an assistant vice-chancellor at Massey, said in a letter responding to a complaint about the study. One issue is the lack of an ethics review of the study before it was conducted, a standard requirement for experiments involving humans. Scientists have also raised concern about the standard of the non-peer-reviewed paper, Cross-Sensitization to Infrasound and Low-Frequency Noise, RLFN, presented in June in Zurich, Switzerland, to the triennial gathering of the International Commission on Biological Effects of Noise. Partly funded by the Warbra Foundation, an Australian Adder wind farm lobby, the work's presentation at a global acoustics gathering has given it a sheen of credibility. Copies are understood to have begun circulating to residents near a proposed wind farm in Victoria, one government scientist said. Its authors include Bruce Rapley, a Massey graduate and noise consultant. Drive Rapley stirred controversy in 2015 when he told a Senate inquiry the adverse health effects of wind turbines will eclipse the asbestos problem. He also likened the wind industry's tactics to Adolf Hitler. The paper is based on the travails of a couple who claim to have developed a range of health complaints from nausea and shortness of breath after moving close to a coal mine and power stations near Lithgow, west of the Blue Mountains. Part of the experiment involved having the noise-sensitized couple drive researchers 160 kilometers to Taralga, a southern tablelands town located a few kilometers from a large wind farm. At the very end of a long day that had been disappointing scientifically in that very few of wind turbines in the visited area were operating, an episode began when Mrs. T got out of the car to visit local public toilets, the paper said. After passing down a corridor between buildings, Mrs. T experienced a sudden reaction of nausea and began swaying like a ship at sea, the paper stated. See images from the paper below. The group returned to the car. Mr. T, the other subject, drove a kilometer before the toilet block suddenly became visible again. He reacted violently and instantly, before jumping from the vehicle and dry retching in the middle of the road. The entire team was shocked at this physical reaction, as the onset was so rapid and so physiologically violent, the paper said. Mr. T was allowed to resume driving, but after moving forward a few meters, he made an emergency stop, where he dry retched uncontrollably for about 5 minutes. Mr. T then recovered sufficiently to drive them all back home. While not explicitly blaming the wind turbines, the researcher who presented the paper, Lisbon-based academic and one of its authors, Mariana Alves Pereira, showed the Zurich audience a slide of the turbines and their distance from Taralga. The implication of blame was very strong because these wind farms were in the vicinity, said Norm Broner, a former president of the Australian Acoustical Society, who was at the Zurich event.